Hey guys. Okay, welcome to the call tonight. We're going to go over a couple things. We're going to go over volume, basically, and going emerald, and why that's important for your business and why you need to do it right now. But first, we're going to go over a little bit of recognition. And we're going to recognize those who have hit Success Club and those who are super, super close. Tonight's the last night to hit Success Club, and we have some people who are at 4 right now who I know that you could still hit Success Club. And you want to know how I know? Because I have done it last minute so many times. I don't even want to tell you about it because it's kind of embarrassing, but I know you can do it. So we have Denise Grove, Megan Broski, which I think is updated now, will be updated. Lydia, Lynn, all at Success Club 4. If you didn't already hit Success Club 5, I know you can do it tonight. So don't give up. Keep going. Go to that
Hey,
last
Ashley,
minute. Yeah.
this is not the updated picture I sent you, but that's okay.
Crud. All right, hold on. I'll pull up the updated one. I don't want to be too outdated here. Thank you for telling me. Give me a second. Sorry, guys.
It was
Yeah,
Messenger.
I knew it wasn't right. Okay. I'm getting there. Almost there. There it is. Yay. Thank you. You're a lifesaver. There we go. Is this one right? Can you see it?
That's right.
All right, cool. All right, so, well, let's go back here. All right, well, at least the 4s were the same. Okay, so everybody who hit Success Club, we're starting with Patty and Cassandra and Amanda and Jen Zurin all hit Success Club 5, which is super awesome, which means that they helped at least 3 people get started with their challenge packs and on their fitness journey. We have Lynn Ziner for Success Club 10, Jennifer Ebert at 14, Rainey Werner at 20, myself at 22, Kaylee Pinto at 30, and Amy at 44. Guys, this is like flipping amazing. I know that for me, this is my highest month. Amy, I'm pretty sure it's yours. I think so. Kaylee, maybe. No, God, you're so good. But anyway, a lot of us hit some of our top months this month, and all I think because of 2B mindset and taking that opportunity and running with it. Not everybody's gonna blow the numbers out of the water just because a new program came out. You have to actually do the work, okay? So just because a new program came out doesn't mean you can just sit on your butt and do nothing. You have to advertise it and talk to people over and over and over and over again to get higher numbers. That's just how it is. You can't just sit down and do nothing. So I'm really, really excited about this month. I'm so excited for all of you guys because all those numbers there represent lives changed. And don't forget that we also have a ton of team builders. So not only are these people helping others live healthy lives, but when you're building your team and bringing people on as coaches, you're also impacting their entire family financially also. And that I think is super, uber cool. So we have Colleen has 1 new coach, Melissa has 1, Lynn Ziner has 1, Patty Spitzer has 2, Jen Ebert has 2, Cassandra has 2, Alex has 2, I have 3, Rainey has 6, Kaylee has 6, and Amy 9 new team members. So this is super, super awesome. Guys, you can go into the chat section of this call and congratulate everybody, okay? I want to see all kinds of people shouting out from the rooftop how excited they are that Team Destiny is growing, and it's so wonderful and awesome. I'm excited to spend time this month with those going out to Summit. And I'm telling you now that if you're not going out to Summit for whatever reason, make sure you're putting a couple bucks aside to buy your ticket for next year, because right when we're there, they're going to put them on sale for next year, and they're going to put them on a discount, and you're going to want that ticket. You're going to want to go with us next year, I promise. So be prepared to get your ticket for next year, okay? All right, so let's go over the meat and potatoes, which I like meat and potatoes, but now I just have meat at night, not the potatoes. Okay, so Sorry, I'm cracking myself up. All right, we're going to talk about building teams and why it's important to bring new coaches on every single month. Let me pull this up. Do-do-do. I don't know how to put it in presentation mode without having it take up the whole screen. Well, whatever, we'll figure this out. Somebody can let me know after I get it started. Okay, you can see the screen? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now can you see the screen? All right, somebody tell me if they can't, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, how to make money as a coach. I think the slide is working. Oh, here we go. Okay, helping others will make them and you happy. Making money while helping others will make you, them, and your spouse happy. I always joke about how the fact that if your spouse is not on board with you, you just need to make more money because then they'll be on board. So focus on helping others. And if you focus on helping others the right way, you will also bring in an income to make everybody else happy in your household by showing them the money. You are the CEO of your own life. Start making executive decisions today. Listen, you have got to put the work in to be able to make the money. And that's how it is with everything. So this is no different. How to be your own CEO. You would need to educate yourself. Study as if you were in medical school. This is the cool thing about this business is that in medical school, you're shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars for the school while you're learning, and then you come out making money. In this case, it's slightly different in that you're not shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're not making a lot at first, okay? So you have to, it's similar in that sense, but you're not shelling out all that money. But within 4-5 years, you could have replaced yourself and your husband or spouse's income, and now all of that education has paid off. So study as if you were in medical school. This is part of your personal development. Set a timer for 10 minutes every day for that education. There's personal development, like learning about relationships and things like that, and then there's business development, and you have to be doing both. A really good way to learn from others, from the top coaches, is going on YouTube, knowing who the top coaches are through social media, through the national wake-up calls, and looking up videos that they've done to teach their team. Read the policies and procedures. We're going to kind of fly through that. Multiple ways to earn an income. You should know this already. If not, it's also a little old, so we're not going over this page. But where I want to go is here, team cycle bonuses. Okay, so here, I'm going to explain a couple things. I really want this. I want to be able to see the chat, so I might not put this as so big. I want to see the chat on your window. So if you have questions, I can read it. I just need to figure out how to do that while I'm also in presentation mode. I'm not sure if I can. Somebody let me know if there's questions in the chat section, okay? Cool. All right, how to build this team. It is just not working if I do it this way. Okay, back to presentation mode. Oh, for real. There we go. Okay, team cycle bonus. Yay. Okay, so you have, when you get started, you have an upline diamond. Under that upline diamond, or your sponsor coach might be your upline diamond, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to make it look like there's two. So there's an upline diamond, and then there's an upline sponsor. The person who got you into the business, who told you about the business and sponsored you, is called their upline sponsor. They may or may not be a diamond, but whoever's above them who sponsored them is their upline. So that makes sense, saying upline, the person up above them. And then there's you, okay? So all these circles underneath you are people who got started. Now follow me here. Okay, so you have I'm not sure if you can see my pointer, but let me know if you can. You are in blue and your sponsor coach is in yellow. Anybody who's below you in yellow is somebody that the sponsor coach got started. Anybody who's in blue below you is somebody that you got started. The people you got started are called personally sponsored because you personally sponsored them, okay? But everybody, whether you got them started or your upline sponsor got them started, as long as they're below where you are, they're all called your downline, okay? And then everybody above you is called your upline. That's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so you have two sides, two teams that you build. So you have your right leg, anybody who's on the right side of you and below you, and your left leg, anybody who's on the left side of you. Now, everybody, let me see the next slide real quick. Each person who's ordering anything, and I'm just using Shakeology as an example because most people are on Shakeology. It's 90, for Shakeology, it's 90 points. So point volume, makes sense, PV. Everything that Beachbody has a point value to it, okay? So Shakeology is 90 points. Energize and Recover together, I think, is 90 points. Everything has its own point system. And every time somebody purchases something, that point goes to them. Okay, so your team bonus gets paid weekly, and it's based off of all of these points that everybody purchased. The other way that you have personal volume is also from your customers. So if you sold a challenge pack to somebody, the points to that challenge pack will be rolled in with that 90 of that Shakeology you just bought. So anyway, we're keeping it really, really simple here by just sticking with the 90 PV and not throwing all numbers all over the place. But just remember, PV is what you purchased and what your customers purchased, okay? And it's calculated weekly. Okay, so in this example, everybody on the right, there's 4 people underneath you who have 90 PV, and on the left, there's 3 people who have 90 PV. And yes, even though that the people on the right weren't sponsored by you, your team volume is still affected by that. And that is why building a team is a team event. Like, people are working together, because you can see that it's not just your efforts that are helping you, it's everybody's efforts that are helping you. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the right side has 360 altogether in this week, and on the left side it has 270 volume points this week, okay, in this example. On the right side, there's more volume than the left side. So the right side is your strong leg for that week, okay? And your left side is your weak leg for that week. Your team cycle bonus is based off of those points, and it's a matching bonus. So for every 200 on, well, it's a total of 300 points, 200 on one side, 100 on the other side, is called a cycle. So right here, you'll see it has one cycle. So 200 on one side, 100 on the other side. Once you subtract that out, you end up with a leftover points, right? So every cycle is, you get paid per cycle. So every cycle, every rank that you have, you get a different amount per cycle. So if you're Emerald, you'll get $14 per cycle. If you're Ruby, it's $16 per cycle. If you're Diamond, it's $18 per cycle. And none of this starts until you're Emerald. So you need to go Emerald ASAP, like as quick as possible, to be able to create this income and start cycling. That's what people will say. And earning that income. The remaining balance is carried over as long as you stay active. So the word active means that you actually have at least 90 points, or I think it's 50, but I always make sure I have 90. Make sure that you have a purchase of 50 or more, or 90 or more. You'll have to refer back to the procedures I know Kaylee will correct me right now and type it into the chat. To stay active, you need to have that purchase every 4 to 5 weeks. And I don't push it ever because I don't want to go inactive and lose all of my points. So it'll roll over and continue to roll over every week until it cycles again, as long as you stay active. The easiest way to stay active for everybody is to just be on auto ship, on home direct for your Shakeology, and then you'll never have to worry about it. When you go diamond and above, then you can refer back with your sponsor coach about how to stay active, because you might have to add one more thing onto your order. But everybody else, you just have to make sure you're on Shakeology home direct, which we all should be anyway, because Shakeology is like the cornerstone of our health. So super easy. You don't even have to worry about it. Just make sure you're on home direct. Okay, so yeah, drink your Shakeology daily and stay on home direct. Okay, so back to this picture. We have the graphical, let me go back. We have the graphical genealogy, and that's, I'm telling you the word graphical genealogy because when you go into your back office, into your coach office, there's different ways to look at your team, and to look at it this way with all of the names and all the names kind of in this picture form, that would be called your graphical genealogy. Now, when we're talking about rank, we only talk about your personally sponsored coaches. So that's why I got rid of all the yellow there. And now we're only looking at the people that I personally sponsored. Okay. So rank, you're only looking at personally sponsored coaches. I know when I first got started, I was kind of confused about that. I wasn't sure if my rank was including my sponsor coaches underneath me and all that, but it's not. Just volume is including everybody under you. But rank is only your personally sponsored coaches. Okay, so when you go into the policies and procedures and you look at how everything is, how all the different ranks and how you get promoted, this is kind of what you come up to. And like I said, you're working with just personally sponsored coaches here. So to become a coach, you just become a coach, and that's the first one on here. And then that just means you signed up as a coach and you're paying your $16 a month. To become an active coach, that's where, hello? Okay, I thought maybe I was making a mistake. When you become your active coach, that's where you have 50 PV. Oh, look, it nicely says it there for me. Basically, most of us, it just means that we're ordering our Shakeology every month, right? And that's where the blue mark is. Okay, so active emerald is where your first like promotion comes in. And that's when you start earning team cycle bonuses. It's also where you, we'll go over more benefits later, but it's also where you can start gaining referrals from the company, and I'll explain more of that later. So active emerald is one person on your left team personally sponsored and one person on your right team personally sponsored. And then from there, you literally are just going emerald over and over and over again. So it really, don't get confused by it. Just know that you constantly are adding one person on your left, one person on the right. And then you do it again, one person on your left, one person on your right. And then you can get to diamond that way. Now listen, getting, many people kind of skip through Ruby because it happens so quickly. But Emerald, you can do in less than a week. Like you could do it in 24 hours. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Diamond, you can do within a month or two. Don't make it bigger than what it really is. And we'll talk more about that later. All right, so why hit Emerald? Well, like we said, you can start earning team cycling. It's a stepping stone into actually building your team. So let me tell you, it's the coolest thing to have a team to work with. It's a lot of fun. You build some of your biggest, strongest relationships, your best friends, like you find all of them by building your team. You also get a lot of credibility with the people that you're already working with as challengers. They'll see that you're making, that you're like hitting different ranks and you're doing awesome. And we all know that a lot of people that you talk to will say no thank you right now, but they're really watching, and they're watching for you to do something, to do well and to keep going and to growing. And as you do that, you're building credibility with them, with your potential challengers, you're building credibility with your potential coaches, and you're building credibility with the team that you already are with. Okay. And like I said, you get free customer leads. All right. So we have the left team. This is just your personally sponsored people. And this is how you go emerald. You have you, and then you start one person on your left and one person on your right who are also active. So they have to be ordering something every month of 50 or more value. Like I said, Shakeology is an easy one there. You could also do multiple boxes of beach bars or daily sunshine. All of these work really well. Okay, so let me go back to my notes real quick. Yeah, I want to go back to this one. Okay, so I want to talk to you real quick about why or how it's so easy to hit emerald within 24 hours. Okay, so we're going to call one of these people who you get started your controlled business center, and that's somebody that you can get started right away as a coach. Super simple, easy peasy. If you're married, you can get your husband started as a coach and sponsor them. If you have a mom or a dad who live close to you, or I'm sorry, who you talk to, who cares where they live? If you talk to them quite often, a sister or brother, somebody that you can control their business center, you can get them started right away as a coach right now. And the reason why you want to get them started right now is A, it'll get you halfway to emerald very, very quickly. But B, everybody that goes underneath them, like you're going to be building your team and you're going to be putting rock stars underneath them. All of that volume is going to go up into their business center and your business center. So now you're double dipping that volume and you're making more money that way. So it's really, really important to get them started as soon as you possibly can. I don't care if you've been in this business now for 2 years and you didn't sponsor your husband or spouse yet, get them started right now, because all those people that are going to go underneath them is going to boost up their paycheck. Okay. So I hope that makes sense, but you really want to get them started now. Now, the question a lot of people have is, where do I put them? Do I put them on my left leg or my right leg? And that's where I want to explain really quick. Your strong leg, when we're talking about how your business is set up, is kind of also like saying your shared leg with your upline. So I'll go back later. You have the original slide I showed you, it had like upline and then you to the right of them, and then your team to the right that had like their coaches under you and your coaches under you. That's a shared leg. Like everybody's working, including your upline, and you are working to put people under there, right? Because it goes, in that sense, it's to the right. The other leg to the left, your upline is not adding to. So that would be your weak leg. Now, you have to talk to your upline and figure out which side you are, like which side is your weak leg and which side is your strong leg. Meaning which side are they actually helping you build versus the other side in which they won't be adding people to. Now, I hope that makes sense, and you have to figure that out with your sponsor coach. I can't tell you that without like asking your sponsor coach and looking at their business, okay? But an easy way for you to figure out is if your upline coach is active and adding coaches, you can just go into your coach office and look to see which side has coaches that you've never heard of before. That would be your strong leg. Now, the person that you want to get started right away for your controlled business center, like your spouse or your mom or your dad or your brother or sister, you want to put them on your weak leg. And that's going to help you boost the volume under your weak leg so that you can do more team cycle bonuses. Team cycle bonuses. So that's really, really important to put them on your weak leg. And that will help you create more income and get more bang for your buck, really. The other person that you need to get started to become an emerald can be really, really super simple also. It could be a potential challenger getting started, and you just say, hey, you should really get this coach account because it's going to help you and save you money. Bam, right there, you have your second coach. It's really not hard. And like I said, you can do it within 24 hours. So let me see, do I have another slide? No. I'm going to stop sharing this really quick. So what I want to tell you is to make a list right now. Like bring out a piece of paper. If you are not emerald yet, and even if you are, this is really good because honestly, it just takes going emerald multiple times to become diamond. And you can do this with your coaches too. Get a list out and write down some people right now, at least 3 names of people that you know you can sponsor as a coach right away. It could be a family member who you can sponsor and make sure you're ordering other stuff through their account, like beach bars or anything like that. I personally have my husband sponsored as a coach also. I always order Shakeology under my account, always on Home Direct. And then under his account, I'll swap back and forth between like beach bars. Right now, I have beach bars on Home Direct with his account. And I have the 3 box to make sure I have 90 PV. So make sure you have something else going through their account, something else that you usually order. It could be Energize, Recover, whatever it is to keep them active. It also could be a family member who already loves Shakeology, so you just order Shakeology through them. I have 3 business centers, so I have Shakeology for my husband through one, Shakeology for me through another, and then beach bars under the 3rd one. So just talk to your upline sponsor if you don't know how to do that, but it should be pretty self-explanatory. What else? So make a list of at least 3 people. I want to see it. Write down your names in the chat box and tell me who are you going to get sponsored right away to help you go emerald. And then you make another list of people that you can get started that isn't really like a controlled center, more of like just a customer or somebody who can go, who wants their Shakeology and who wants the discount. You can get them sponsored right away also. And then right there you have emerald. It really doesn't take longer than 24 hours. It's really just a decision. Once you've made that decision, you just do it. I think most people who don't do it right away, it's just that maybe a fear of speaking to somebody and asking them to do that to get like their discount, which by the way, don't feel weird about that. You're giving them a discount. They're getting a discount. They're getting a lot out of this. So don't feel weird about it, and get them started so that you can become emerald right away. It really makes sense to become emerald right away. That's right when your business starts growing. That's the beginning step of building a team, of even being in business, is emerald. So you want to do that as soon as possible. Let's see. So questions. Weak leg 3. Yep, got that. Okay. Do they have to work the business? The controlled, no, they don't. Nobody has to actually work the business to become a coach. And we have really simple scripts to describe to somebody, hey, do you want this coach option? You get a discount, you pay $16 a month, but you're saving $30, so it totally makes sense. No, you don't have to build the business. You can just enjoy the wonderfulness of getting your discount. So no, nobody has to build the business. Do I want you to build the business? Yeah, but nobody has to do that to be a coach. Melissa, no problem. I was just wondering if somebody was going to correct me. Okay. Woohoo, so pumped, excited, blah, 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 blah. Good job. Yay, yay. Does anybody have any questions about what I said? Because I kind of threw a lot of terms out there, threw a lot of, terminology, how things are set up. Does everybody understand? Yes? No? You can unmute yourself.
I have a question.
Please ask.
So I am confused about the difference between the left and right leg.
Oh, I'd love to explain that.
Okay.
What about it? Is it confusing to, like the strong leg, weak leg, or just left and right leg?
Just the left and right. Like
okay,
how
so,
do you determine who goes on what side?
Oh, how to determine who goes on what side?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so basically when you're sponsoring people at first, you just want to keep them even because you're working to diamond. You're not diamond yet, are you? No. Okay. When you're working to diamond, you want to make sure you have 4 on the right and 4 on the left.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you real quick a couple of things. But when it comes to your controlled center, like the person that you want to sponsor, that you're going to control their account basically, that person you want to make sure goes on your weak leg. And I can't tell you which side, if the right or left is your weak leg. You have to ask your sponsor coach.
Okay.
Or you just have to go in. I'll show you. Oops, that's not what I want to bring up. Or you have to just go into your account and see if somebody's adding people, which I'm sure they are for you. Okay. That's not what I want to show you. I want to show you this. Okay. So this is my second business center that I just got started. So I'm going to use that as an example to show you real quick. Okay. So if you go to grow my business, nope, if you go to monitor my business, and remember when I said graphical genealogy, you can click this to see your graphical genealogy. There's all different things. Oh, look, there I am. And you can go all the way down. Maybe I'm not in the right business center I wanted to be in. Well, whatever. You'll see from here somebody on your right and somebody on your left, right? This is somebody a long time ago canceled. See, they have a big X through them. This is one of my control centers, actually. It's my dad. I shouldn't say he's my control center. I just let him, he orders for himself. I don't really do anything with his account. But anyway, so you have your right and you have your left, okay? And let's just say, because I can't see right now who's what, let's just say this person was not somebody I got started. See how it says PS above them?
Yeah.
Okay, that means personally sponsored. That means I got them started. But if it didn't say PS and it was somebody I don't know, then I know my upline added them there. If my upline added them to my right leg, then you know that your shared leg with your upline is your right leg.
Okay.
And that your left leg is not shared with them, meaning it would be your weak leg. And that's where you want to add your controlled account, like your mom, your dad, your husband, whatever. Okay. If it's the opposite, if this one doesn't have the personally sponsored label and I don't know them, then that would be the shared leg with my coach. And then I would add my personally sponsored, like controlled center on my right leg. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that's helpful.
Okay. So that's helpful. So when you go to sponsor someone, you might want to know right away, well, if I sponsor a coach, are they going to go on my left or right? So I always explain to go into monitor my business. Under downline, it says preferred placement. You can click that. And right now my preferred placement is right. So if I sponsor a coach right now, they're going to go on my right leg. I can change it to left or right, and I never do anything other than that. So just keep those in mind for now. You can change it from your left to your right. So the other, so right now it's on my right, but if I know I'm sponsoring like that controlled center and I want it to go on my weak leg and my weak leg is my left, I might click left and then click save. Then give them the link and have them sign up that way. If for some reason I screwed it up and I put them on the wrong side, I can always call Coach Relations within within 2 or 3 days and get them switched, but I would do it right away. Now, once you have your first person sponsored under you, you want to figure out if they went on your left or right leg, and then come in here and switch this to the other side to make sure that you go emerald. Does that make sense? Because you need one on your left and one on your right.
Okay.
So after you sponsor your first coach, you figure out, okay, were they on my left or right? Figure that out. Okay, they were on my right. That means I need to come in here, change this to left, save it, and make sure my next person then gets sponsored. They'll be on my left. And then you'll be emerald. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing we were talking about, what was the other question you had?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, I hope does that answer some of your questions?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Oh, here, volume. You're going to look at volume through here. You can go to team volume. You can look at your carryover volume, which is what I was talking about once you're done cycling and there's not like an equal amount to cycle anymore. It'll carry over your earnings, commissions, all that. So when you click team volume, it'll show you your volume for the weeks. It's weekly, your left leg, and then your right leg. Okay. And it'll do that throughout the weeks. This is not even the end of this week, so that's why it's not totaled yet. But it'll show you your left leg, your right leg, and then how many, and then you can see like here, I'll cycle, or I probably did cycle. They could take 200 from that side, 100 from that side, and that would be a cycle.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So from like, see this week, there would be more than one cycle. They would just keep doing that, 200, 100, 200, 100, until it can't be done anymore.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Kaylee's clapping because I was like, I don't know if I can explain this. All right. Other questions? Anybody else?
Once you hit like a status like emerald or diamond or whatever, do you have to like, so if you hit emerald, do you have to add 2 more people under you the next month to stay emerald?
That's a really good question. I love that. I want to say yes because it'll make you keep doing it, but no.
I mean, I want to. I'm just asking.
Okay, so here's the thing. Once you hit emerald, you're considered a lifetime emerald. But if you want to keep getting paid at emerald, then you have to keep it current. And the only way you're going to keep it current is by to continue to grow, because here and there, somebody's going to drop off. Like you saw my thing, it said canceled, right? So you don't want to lose that status. So you don't want to hit a rank and then be like, oh, I'm going to sit back and relax, right? You want to keep growing. It's the only way, like we talk about that whole elevator approach. I mean, escalator. When you see the escalator and it's coming down and you're standing in front of it, you know, you can step on the bottom step, but it's just going to bring you right back down. If you want to get to the top of that escalator, you need to keep stepping faster than the escalator is coming down. Does that make sense? So we want to continue to keep growing, so it doesn't like drop off on us. And if you do it like consistently every single day and every month, I would say definitely try to go emerald every month, where you're sponsoring one person on the left, one person on the right every single month. Then you'll get to the top of that escalator and you'll be able to reap the benefits of what you just did. But if you take a step and you hit emerald and then you just drop off and stop doing anything, it's going to go away. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah.
As for the company, they'll say, okay, yeah, you're emerald and you have a lifetime status of emerald because you hit emerald once before. So they're not going to recognize you again until you hit your next promotion.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
But as for being paid, you need to hold that
keep
rank.
building. Yep.
Yeah, and you want to keep building. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Cool. I did it in good timing. I'm so proud of myself. All right, cool. All right, guys, I'm going to